Welcome, my name is Oliver. I am a robot, but enough about me. This isn't about me, this is about Saul, and Richard, and video games, and the universe. So come with us, or more specifically, with them. Enter the save state, save state, save state, save state, save state. Enter the save state, save state, save state, save state, save state.
Hello everybody and welcome to the second ever Save State Gaming Podcast. Very glad you could all join us again. If anybody ever did listen to the first episode, then welcome back. My name's Saul and today again we have with us...
Hi, it's Richard again. Or Chud, whatever. We're still figuring out what we're going to call me. But it doesn't matter.
No.
We're here to talk about video games.
Man of many names. But we're going to stick with Chud, I think, this week. Chud, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you, Saul. I'm a little tired from work, the same as last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy to be here and ready and raring to talk about video games.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Well, let's do just that. What have you been playing this week?
I hate to be Mr. Originality, but I'm still playing Horizon Zero Dawn. In fact, I haven't actually played anything else since. But it's difficult being a working man and a gamer, trying to juggle those two responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're both very much responsibilities.
Let's get straight into the news. Yeah,
It's been a slow week in the games industry.
Yeah, it has indeed. Mostly, again, been dominated by the release of the Switch and Zelda. So, a couple of facts about the Switch. It's Nintendo have released sales figures saying that it is their best-selling console, considering its weekend release.
Best-selling console, whatever?
No, within 48 hours, the best Nintendo console, the best-selling Nintendo console in its first 48 hours.
That's amazing. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. I think the main reason for this is that people could buy it.
Really?
That it was
Would
available.
you look at that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Incredible. It's amazing that,
Especially coming from Nintendo, it is amazing.
Yeah, the fact that you can buy it means that it sells. In related news, talking about Zelda, YouPorn, have you heard about this? Have released some statistics.
I've no idea what that is.
Yeah, this is just something I read on the internet. The YouPorn have announced that Nintendo-related searches for the material that YouPorn carry is up 160%.
There's some twisted people out there. So.
I know. Ganon... Yeah, I'm not even.
Let's not even brainstorm down this road.
Let's stop. We could go on for a long time. Another little bit of news this week. The director attached to the Metal Gear Solid movie, his name is. Let me just check my notes. Mr. Roberts has basically said that he thinks that the movie's going to be really good.
It's a video game movie. I don't have the greatest amount of faith.
Yeah, that's true.
Apart from the be all and end all of video game movies, do you know what that is, Saul?
Super Mario Brothers.
I was going to give you a high five, but I thought that probably wouldn't have gone very well on the podcast.
Yeah, the greatest video game movie ever made.
It's so accurate to the source material.
Yeah.
Where are we?
I got a feeling we're not in Brooklyn no more.
They're brothers. They're plumbers. Oh no! Mario! Luigi! They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess and a mystical meteorite. It's incredible! That gives anyone who possesses it the power.
So what I thought we could do was maybe give our picks of who we might like to cast in a Metal Gear Solid movie. Okay. Just run through it really quickly. I think that let's set the ground rules for this question.
Sure.
Let's say that we are going to cast a movie remake of the original Metal Gear Solid game.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do this quick fire. Who'd you cast as Solid Snake?
Okay, there's time and space. Can it be somebody say... Well, who I wanted was Snake Plissken. Kurt Russell.
Exactly.
From the 80s. He's a bit old now.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. That's exactly who I would have said. How about... Okay, let's go easy. Meryl.
For some reason Meryl Streep came to mind.
Meryl Streep. I don't think she'd be up for
she's
it.
got the range. Scarlett Johansson.
Again, that's exactly who I was thinking.
Me and you are on the same page.
Yeah, definitely.
That's me.
Later. How about DARPA Chief?
Donald Glover.
Perfect. Yep. Revolver Ocelot.
Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good choice. Good choice. Who else could we have? How about Psycho Mantis?
Stephen Buscemi.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. What's the guy's name who was one of the Batman? Cillian Murphy. That's who I'm thinking of. Cillian Murphy.
Cillian.
I'm sure. I will.
It's pronounced Cillian. Please do comment at us. Get right at us if we're getting that wrong.
I will bet you it's Cillian Murphy.
What will you bet me?
I will bet you.
Copy of Batman Begins.
Yeah.
The joke's on you because I don't like Batman.
All right.
Begins.
Yeah, but okay. Done.
Misinterpretation on a global scale. Cultural ignorance about English. English cultural ignorance. Na 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 football. Écoutez.
Welcome to English Cultural Ignorance, with me, Oliver the Robot. Today we have a special guest. He is an Irishman. His name is Dara. Hi Dara.
Thank you for having me on the show today, Olivier.
How are you today?
Very good, thanks.
So, is Saul wrong?
Absolutely, 100%. I've never heard anything more incorrect in my whole entire life. It's pronounced Cillian Murphy with a hard C, like a K. You have to remember the Irish language is very, very different to the English language.
Why is Saul wrong?
English speakers are lazy and they enjoy the suffering of others.
Is it really Saul's fault?
Saul is part of a bigger systematic issue of mass cultural ignorance on the island of England.
There you go. Saul is culturally ignorant and owes Richard a copy of Batman Begins. Thank you, Dara.
Cillian Murphy.
Misinterpretation on a global scale. Cultural ignorance about English. English cultural ignorance. Na 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 football. Why can't they drive on the right side of the road?
Well, what about the guy who plays the Master? What's he called? The guy who gives you all the advice about the environment.
Oh, the Colonel.
He turns out to be spoilers. This game is 18, 20-year-old game. If you've not played it by now, then you're never going to play it. But the guy who turns out to be Liquid Snake at the end and has really been undercover, he's the guy who plays Colonel. He's Colonel Miller. It's Miller.
Miller, yeah.
Miller, Brad Pitt from the 90s.
Brad Pitt from the 90s. See, I was thinking, I'm trying to picture
Oh,
Colonel's...
Brad Pitt is Liquid Snake. Playable. Sorry to intrude.
Yeah, do it again, I'll kill you. I'm trying to... what I've got in my head is a picture of the Colonel when he's speaking to you over the codec.
Yeah.
And that grainy kind of green picture. I'm just trying to picture who would fit into that. And I'm thinking...
Colonel from Rambo. Then again, that's typecasting.
Yeah. The Colonel.
I think that
Danny DeVito. Let's go Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. Yeah.
A lot of my online friends there.
It's a very classy affair. Business analysts reckon that PlayStation 5 will be coming out next summer. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I did see something like this. Personally, I think bullshit.
I can't see it happening. It does seem a bit soon, doesn't it?
The only thing that I can think of that gives credence to this kind of prediction is that I think Microsoft, because they are losing by a long way this generation. I mean, that's not news to anybody.
We talked about it last week, but I feel like they do have caught up. But then again,
yeah, I think that it's a really smart move by Microsoft in bringing out the Scorpio. I reckon that it'll be announced at E3, and possibly
they're definitely going to show the Scorpio. That is, they're going to show that at E3 this year. They have to.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be out this year?
Yeah, it's going to come out for Christmas.
Okay.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see no reason why it wouldn't be.
2 years ago, when we started on this journey, you told us you wanted certain things from us. You wanted power. You wanted community. You wanted choice. This product that we're announcing today is absolutely the culmination of all of your feedback and something that we think will truly move Xbox forward.
When we think about the future...
See, this article states that PlayStation 5 is going to be so powerful that they're not going to be playing catch-up with Microsoft. That they're once again, they're going to believe in Scorpio like in the dust. The arms race is going too fast, isn't it? Every year we're getting a new console.
Yeah, it's turning into the iPhone model, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that either.
No.
Who can afford to buy a new rig every year?
Well, People do
That's
the same
right,
with
it's called a
iPhone.
console of rig. What are you going to do about it?
Evening, Harlow.
Well, Oscar Otto, the loquacious limousine, and in top form.
Sure, Harlow, and it's because I'm equipped with an Autolite electrical system.
Ah, then you must have an Autolite starting motor, generator, battery, coil distributor, and a set of Autolite spark plugs, plus all the other important parts that go to make up the complete Autolite electrical system used as original equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars, trucks, and tractors.
Oh, you bet I do, Harlow.
So yeah, generally consoles have a lifespan of longer than 3 years, apart from the Wii U. But
Don't speak ill of the dead.
yeah,
But what? Yeah, I mean, the last generation was bizarrely long.
yeah.
Like the Xbox 360 came out in 2006, was it?
All right, I forget,
Right
but
at the end, no, it was 2005. It was Christmas 2005 because I remember the Advent for Perfect Dark. So 2005, and when would we say it officially ended? Without, I'd say 2013 or 14 because Xbox One came out. Because I don't particularly count that whole kind of grey area where things overlap and the putting Xbox One games downscaled on the 360. Things like that. That doesn't count. Do you remember me telling you that I thought that this could bring about the next video game crash?
yeah,
Oversaturation of the market.
yeah.
Because people aren't going to be buying it, and
Yeah.
it's
I think-
scary prospects. And at the end, the only ones left standing will be Nintendo. There's a circular narrative. Isn't that a nice, neat package? Nintendo started this video games generation and saved it from the brink of death that was whatever in 85 or 84 or 83, whenever it happened originally.
83, yeah.
And then they're the ones left standing in the end.
Yeah,
Be a sheer dumb luck. Stabbing in the dark.
They're
Getting
just-
one hit every 10 years, and it's so incredibly successful they become billionaires.
I think you're right in some ways. I think Nintendo are just taking a back seat and saying like, we've got our product. This
I
is
reckon
what we do.
there's a serious drug culture in Nintendo executives. There must be. Because I just can't explain some of this shit, man. I'm looking at your NES over there, and what is with that wire?
The NES Classic wire is it beggars belief how that managed to pass anybody at
Crackheads.
Nintendo. Like, if I at home I have a relatively small TV and it works fine. But if you have anything bigger than a 20-inch TV, then you're stuck with a wire that gives you about a meter kind of vision from the TV, and your eyes start hurting, and yeah, it's awful. So let's move on to the question of the week. I've been thinking a lot about this week about mainly through playing Horizon.
Okay.
But what do you think makes a bad, good, or even excellent game tutorial?
Not knowing that I'm playing a games tutorial when it happens.
So you think that makes a good one?
Well, yeah, because I hate games tutorials. They're my least favourite thing about playing a game. Like an example of a bad one, which basically just sums up everything that I hate about video game tutorials. Final Fantasy 15. Because it was just a collection. It just basically broke everything down and made you just go through this laundry list of things, and it was just it was annoying. And I know that they gave you an option to skip that and go on with the game, but I can't do that, because if I did that, I'd have this nagging feeling that I've not understood how to play the game, which usually 9 times out of 10 isn't true, because I've played everything before. I don't care, I just feel like I've played everything already. You know what I mean? It's very, very rare that a Katamari Damacy comes along and changes, my view on what a video game is. Horizon's got kind of a good tutorial.
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think the first 3 hours of that game are superbly done. Not only in the way that it introduces the characters and starts to open up the narrative, but the way that it introduces the mechanics of the game by weaving that into story elements, I think is great, and I think that a lot of games can take a lot of...
That's the way it's done.
Yeah.
Do you know another game that did that very well?
I've played hundreds of games where you press A to jump. Like, I fucking know it. I've done it millions of times. So for me, the best tutorials are ones, like I said, that don't shove the mechanics down your mouth. And the best example I can think of a game that doesn't do that is Super Mario Brothers. To me...
World 1, Level 1.
Yeah.
Every block is,
Yeah.
put in the perfect place.
Yeah. Just as that level is perfectly designed, and it doesn't need to tell the player, press one button to jump.
But it is telling the player, but in a much more of a subconscious kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no flashes popping up on the screen.
No, I hate that.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop me from doing what I was doing, man.
Yeah. Treat us with a bit of intelligence. We, especially people that have been playing these games for a long time, we don't need to know these button prompts.
Old spunkers like me and you.
Yeah.
I hate to go back to Horizon again, but do we really need the Batman, Witcher, detectives mechanic that is lifted wholesale from both of those games? Do we really need that? 'Cause that is like one of the only times when I'm playing it, I'm like, I've done this. I don't need to do it again. It almost cheapens the experience for me having to do that. It's like, do I have to? Click on that and then follow the purple trail. It's like, I've done this before, man.
Yeah.
Move on. Find a way to do that same principle and execute it in a different manner, because this is exactly the same as The Witcher and Batman.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the whole thing about Horizon, is that it's very derivative of a whole bunch of games, like
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Monster Hunter. All the Ubisoft games, like you talked about Batman with the detective vision, and it doesn't in taking all those different parts from different games. I don't think it really does anything better than any of the other games, except the combat. I still think the combat is some of the most fluid, fun that I've ever played in a game. And that, to Horizon, it's fairly unique, I mean, there's not many other games, not necessarily where you're fighting, in robot dinosaurs, but you have that many options to take down enemies in different ways, whether it's through stealth or whether it's through knocking different armor panels off, or we're using elemental attacks. Like, in that way...
Crisis.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That started, it just comes to my mind that it reminds me a little bit of Crisis, especially Crisis 3.
Yeah.
The one dilapidated New York. One that it's not a tutorial as such, although this game does have a great tutorial, but in the vein that Mario 1, World 1, Level 1 has this sort of perfection in its minimalist way of getting its ideas across, and by teaching you things without even you realising that you're being taught them. My favourite one is pretty much the entirety of Half-Life 2.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until... well, let's just say your hour has come again. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
I remember playing it when it first came out in 2005, and I did this. I went to Game, bought it, and Game at the time did this amazing thing which I took the piss with, right? You could buy a game, and if you didn't like it within 5 days, you could take it back, no questions asked. So what did I do? I got Half-Life 2, and I rinsed the shit out of it. I completed it, and I took it back, and then I did the same with like the first Far Cry game as well.
Yeah.
They were good days.
Yeah,
innocent
they were
times.
great days, yeah.
But anyway, the entirety of Half-Life 2, I remember playing the game and feeling so smart, because I felt like I knew what this game was going to do before it did it. I was like, I know exactly what this... I'm completely in tune with this game. It's like I'm new in the Matrix. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I'm doing. And it made me feel like I was Billy Big Balls as a gamer. And then I didn't realise until years later when I read this article about the use of lighting in Half-Life 2 and how it subconsciously directs you into the direction you're supposed to be going. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm not that clever. I've been duped.
But I mean, that comes down to great game design, Like, going back to Half-Life 2, when you first get to Ravenholm, don't know if you remember this.
We don't go there anymore.
No, we don't go to Ravenholm. You wander into the shack and you see this big circular saw blade stuck into the wall.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's stuck through someone's head, isn't it?
Maybe the first one is, yeah. And you're like, I know what to use this
It's
for.
like the game going, do this.
Without having to say it, right? Without actually saying, do this. Like, the whole idea of environmental storytelling and delivering mechanics through the environment is just perfect, because it makes the gamer feel smart, which is really, really important, because I think games nowadays do tend to just shove mechanics down your throat. It's like, press this to do this. You probably need to jump here. And it's like, no, just let me figure it out by myself. Like, I'm an intelligent person most of the time. And trust the player that they will figure it out for themselves. If you make a game that's engaging, that has a great story or for whatever, the players will want to play it and they will figure it out if they're invested in it. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about Switch and Zelda. A friend of mine got his on day one. He got it pre-ordered. I went around a couple of days later and played Zelda.
Wow.
And I was not that impressed.
Really?
Really?
I'm surprised.
The first thing... I mean, this is going off playing the game for 20 minutes, right? And I was dropped in probably about 5 or 6 hours into the game, so I hadn't got the tutorial. So the first thing that I found out was hard were the controls. They weren't particularly intuitive. Like, I was picking out bombs when I was trying to shoot my arrow. The inventory system was a little bit cumbersome, which is kind of taken from older Zelda games. But I just felt that it wasn't particularly intuitive to be able to pick up and play. And for a console which builds itself to be family friendly and just easy, to pick up and play, I didn't think it was particularly great to start off with. I thought that the second thing that was just so glaring to me, especially after playing Horizon for the last week, were the visuals. Like, it doesn't look great from what I was seeing, and this is from playing it on the Switch tablet and on the TV as well.
What's the difference in visuals between the tablet and the TV? I've actually heard the tablet looks better.
The screen on the tablet is great. Yeah. Really, really good, really bright. The colours really pop. The TV, there wasn't that much difference between the two, to be honest. And again, it's really impressive. You just put it into the dock and boom, it's up on the TV.
Yeah.
But visually, and this is probably, like I said, from me just playing Horizon for the last week, which is just stunning, absolutely stunning. Yeah. The world to me seemed very empty. We came across a few bandit
I'm
encampments.
surprised at that, because I've been reading things that it was sort of full of loads of wonderful little details and cute little things that you could find.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge, and maybe I'm not into the game.
20 minutes is 20 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But the first two impressions, like I said, were the controls were a bit finicky. Although after the first 20 minutes I started to get the hang of them, but the visuals were the main thing that stood out for me.
Is the control issue down to game design or actual console design? Because I've heard, and to be honest, it looks like it fits weirdly into your hand. It's not as big as I thought it would be, and it looks like you're going to have... Tell me if I'm incorrect here, but there was an issue I used to have with the PlayStation 3 controller where the analogs were too close together, and my thumbs would hit each other when I tried to do things in the same direction. That really, really annoyed me.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like, is there a lot of that, just it feeling odd in your hand and just perhaps even too small?
Yeah, I definitely. I think you're pretty right there. Actually, I think that part of it is it's a new,
which is weird because I've never even seen one in the flesh.
Yeah. It's a new piece of hardware, so that you have to kind of get used to it and the way it feels. But the buttons are very small, very small.
Yeah, that's just
the analog sticks are very small. Yeah. I mean, when the two Joy-Cons are clipped into the Joy-Con holder controller, I forget what its name is. There's a fair amount of space between them. They're offset as well, which kind of helps.
Yeah. Did you play on the tablet? Did you manage to take them off and use them as kind of Wii nunchuck kind of efforts?
So when I was playing on the tablet, they were attached to the side. When I was playing on the TV, I did play with them each one separately.
Am I right in thinking you can still do that with the tablet as a tablet, put it on a kickstand and just sit back and chill on the train with that on the table and still use?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I want one.
I don't.
You don't?
Not yet. No. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe when there's a bit more out for it. Maybe I'm sure Mario's going to be great. I'm sure Mario Kart, even though it's a port, is going to be great. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff, but I just can't.
You'd hope there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Because in the crack culture of Nintendo, we don't know what they're going to do next.
Who knows what those crackheads are going to do?
You worked too hard, you ate too much, the cheesecake made you greedy. Let your aching head and stomach hear this message from old Speedy. Alka-Seltzer, plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Ah, those speedy Alka-Seltzer bubbles burst into action to relieve your upset stomach and aching head fast. Use only as directed. Oh, what a relief
There weren't no video game patches back in 1998 or 97 or whatever it was.
No. I mean, you had, for example, if your game shipped with a problem, then they would have to send you out a new copy. This happened, for example, with Simcopter. Simcopter, if anybody doesn't know, is my favorite game of all time, and if you disagree with me, I will fucking destroy you.
Why don't you plug your review?
Destroy you, huh?
Plug your review.
Plug my review. Okay, yes. Well, it's not really a review. I did a retrospective of Simcopter and why it's my favorite game and why I believe nobody else has ever heard of it. So buckle in, everybody, sit down, get a cup of tea, and relax whilst I make sweet Simcopter music to your ears.
This is Sim1, purveyor of music, provider of ads, an official emergency frequency in this and many other cities.
There was a guy working for them, a programmer, and his name was Jack Servin. You heard of this guy?
No, but I love his name.
Yeah, no, nobody has ever heard of him. So he was working for Maxis at the time, and he was openly homosexual, and he felt that...
What year was this?
Oh, God.
In the 90s, right?
Mid-90s.
Yeah.
Let's say 95, 96.
Okay.
And he was getting pretty frustrated about the portrayal of homosexuals in video games, or more, the lack of portrayal, let's say. Yeah. He also was pretty pissed at Maxis because he described his working conditions as inhumane, and he was, it was coming up to the game's launch, and everybody knows about industry crunch time where just everybody has to work.
Inhuman, all the time.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
Smashing it, people sleeping in the office.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody knows it. So it was coming up to the release of this game. He was getting pretty pissed off, and so he decided to get a bit of payback on Maxis. And the way he did this was he coded into the game on 2 certain dates, which I think was his birthday and the birthday of his partner. I might be wrong in that, but basically on 2 dates out of the year, guys would appear in the game that were dressed in Speedos, and they'd walk around the town and sit and kiss each other, right? And nobody managed to find this book before release, and so it was released, and then 2 months later this date pops up, and the city is just roaming with these gay guys going around in Speedos making ridiculous smooching noises,
going around doing things that are unchristian.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, this is before the time of internet patches. So basically they recalled all of the copies of Simcopter, and if you bought one of these original copies, you sent it back, and they would send you a new one through the post with this with the gays taken out of the game. And it later turned out that basically Jacques Servin had been paid to do this. He'd been paid, I think, $5,000 by an organisation called Art Mark, was the name that they went by. And they'd been known for a few other kind of little pranks, if you can call it pranks, with video games and other entertainment media. And Servin, in retrospect, describes it as a win-win situation, right? The publicity that he got from making the stunt got him more work than he ever got at Maxis, and it probably helped Maxis sell a few more games of Simcopter because of the controversy. I mean, I don't think Maxis see it that way, because their brand was probably hurt a little bit by this stunt. But I think, yeah, in retrospect, everybody won that situation.
It's nice to see more equality in games. I came across this article, and it was talking about Snowboard Kids, which was a game for the N64, which was a bit of a Mario Kart rip-off, but it was good. It was honestly really good. It was one of those games that reviewed about 86%, 7 out of 10 game. And it's a game that only I seem to remember. Do you remember that game, Snowboard Kids?
Nope, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a karting game, but you just snowboard downhill with cute characters, weapons, blah blah blah. It was great. I loved it. I'm just wondering, what other N64 games do you remember playing that have been forgotten to time that you would like to see brought up back in sort of an anthology collection?
So you're talking games that necessarily might not have
I'm not talking about GoldenEye or Ocarina of Time. I'm not talking about just stuff that people might not know.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gems. Is that yeah? That's the way of putting it.
Well, do you know Body Harvest? You ever heard of this game?
I love Body Harvest. It was by DMA Design. Who went on to I don't know, did they do very much after Body Harvest and Silicon Valley, which is another one?
Well, DMA Design went on to become Rockstar North, didn't they?
You're kidding.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. In fact, the original Grand Theft Auto was made by DMA Design.
It was, you're right, yeah.
So yeah.
Fun story, me and Saul applied for a job at Rockstar North the other month.
Neither of us got it.
You got an interview though.
I did get an interview. Yeah, it was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever had.
What did you do?
I don't know if can I say that. I probably can't say it, can I?
Just say it anyway, and we'll see how we feel.
Yeah. So it was a video interview, and the way that it works is that they flash these questions on the screen. They give you a question, which stays on the screen for a minute, and then you have 3 minutes to record your answer. And this is all done through the webcam on your laptop. So they record you through your laptop, save the video, and then they review it later on. And the first question, well, let me go back. After I got the invite for the interview, I spent 4 or 5 days just doing nothing but playing GTA Online. Because I played it a little bit upon release and then didn't play it after that. I was like, right, the job's going to be about Grand Theft Auto Online. I need to know everything about Rockstar and everything about Grand Theft Auto Online. So I played nothing but GTA Online for 5 days. The first question came up in the interview. Describe the perfect sandwich. I didn't get the job, and I'm still recording podcasts in my bedroom.
Say, here's how to make breakfast as exciting as a circus and a 3-day rodeo rolled into one.
The Body Harvest, yeah, I remember this was great. In fact, if you look back and think about it, it was almost as if they were using that as a prototype for the Grand Theft Auto games.
In a way, I mean, there was no real
vehicles, 3D exploration, open world, getting in and out of vehicles, which is kind of revolutionary at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing else really doing that. I mean, the visuals were terrible.
Yeah.
But
did I ever tell you about the story about me and Body Harvest?
You did, but I'd like you to tell me again,
right.
because it's quite horrific.
Yeah,
didn't it nearly kill you?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
A video game nearly killed you. This is straight out of 80s sci-fi.
I don't know how I was, maybe like 15, 16 at the time. Me and my friend Lee, his name was, we were around at my house playing video games. And I was tired, I think it was probably around GCSE or exams time. And I really probably shouldn't have been playing video games, should have been revising. But anyway, playing Body Harvest, I started to feel a bit dizzy. And I was like, I'm just a bit hungry or something. I don't know, it's fine. Carried on playing, and I started having a fit. And I don't really remember what happened, but I remember waking up in hospital a few hours later going, what level am I up to? Get me back, I was doing really well. And Mum was like, no, you started rolling around on the floor and foaming at the mouth. I
didn't know you went to hospital, you never told me that.
Yeah, I went to hospital and...
You literally woke up in the hospital?
Yeah. I blanked out for about an hour. Occasionally when I'm playing a game, I start to go a little bit dizzy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because now I know what it feels like, I can kind of nip it in the bud. And all I have to do is close my eyes for a few seconds, and the feeling goes away and I can carry on playing.
Never again, Swanee. I'm off the skag. Are you serious? Yeah. No more. I'm finished with that shite.
Well, it's up to you, man.
Gonna do it right this time. Gonna get it sorted out, get off it for good.
I'm sure I've heard that one before.
The sick boy method.
Oh, it really worked for him, eh?
Well, he's always been lacking in moral fibre.
He knows a lot about Sean Connery.
That's hardly a substitute.
And it generally happens when I'm playing a motion game.
Yeah.
That's kind of what seems to set it off more. But like I said, I know the signs, so hopefully I can carry on playing games.
Has this always been this way, or is this something that's developed as you've grown older?
No, it's definitely happened. It happens a few times a year. I'll be playing a game. Again, usually if I'm tired, I'll just start to feel a bit dizzy and I just chill for 5 seconds and then I'm fine again. But it's, considering that games are my hobby and something that I've been doing for the last 25 years, it's not great.
Not really, no.
Great. Well, thanks again, everybody, and catch you next week.
Catch you on the flip side. No.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Love you.